Good morning students. I hope you are fine at home and watching all the videos regularly. Today we are going to start with the new topic in our grammar, that is subject verb concord. Alright, we are going to talk about the subject verb agreement. Now what do we mean by subject verb agreement? When we say subject verb agreement, that means the subject should match the verb. Alright, but before moving on into subject verb agreement, let us see what is subject. Now we know that a sentence is made up of different words. A sentence tells us about a person, place or thing. So the names of a person, place or thing, alright, what names it? The subject. Alright, then the other part is the predicate. Now what does predicate do? It gives us some information about the subject. Okay, so sentence is divided into two parts. One is subject and the other is predicate. Alright, subject will name your person, place or thing, and predicate will give you information about the subject. I hope this is clear to you. Now the basic rule that we talk about in subject verb agreement is that if the subject is singular, then the verb should also be singular. For example, if we say he sings a song, alright, or if we say he is singing a song. So in this, when we have a singular subject, then we have a singular helping verb. Alright, now when we have a plural subject, at that time our verb will also be plural. Alright, suppose I change the sentence here. They dash singing a song. Now if we want to use a helping verb here, what helping verb we are going to use? We can use they are, or we can say they were singing a song. Again in this case, when we have a plural subject, at that time we have used the plural helping verb. So this is the basic rule when we talk about the subject verb agreement. Okay, always remember this in your mind that the subject should match with the verb. If one is singular, the other will also be singular. If one is plural, then the other will also be plural. Alright, so I hope this is clear to you. Now let us quickly move on to one of the important rule that we have, and generally this rule is the one that is tested in your 10th class board examination in gap filling or in editing portion. So this rule will be checked or assessed or evaluated. So here what happens, now here, there we had he is singing a song. Alright, so we were talking about the present continuous tense. Now suppose if we talk about the simple present tense. Alright, simple present tense, you know, we have subject plus verb s or es plus the object. This is the basic rule that we use when we form a affirmative sentence. Now here, listen carefully to this. Okay, suppose he, alright, and we have they. Okay, I am keeping the verb as sing. Dash a song. Dash a song. Alright. Here in bracket it is sing. Here in bracket also it is sing. Okay. Now what verb are we going to place here? Are we going to say he sing a song, or are we going to say they sings a song? Alright, which one is correct? Just pause your video and think about it. Which is correct? Is this correct or is this correct? Alright. Now here both of them are wrong. Alright. Here our answer should be he sings a song, and here our answer should be they sing a song. Alright, this you have to keep in your mind. We are talking about the simple present tense here. He sings. Alright, sing plus s, a song. They sing a song. Alright, so here we have added s. We can add s or es here. And here we are going to keep it the simple basic form of verb. Alright, this I am going to tell you in detail. Now, in our classes, in our junior classes, alright, we have always done the singular plural. Alright, we have learned that when we talk about nouns, and when we have to change a noun from singular into plural, what do? We add s, es or ies. For example, if we have boy, we change it into boys. If we have bus, we change it into buses. Leaf, leaves. Alright, baby, babies. Like this, the rule is there. This is singular and this is plural. When we are adding s or when we are adding es, or sometimes if we add, for example, babies, okay, if we add ies, then what will happen? It is going to change into the plural form of the noun. But remember this, that this rule is completely opposite in verb. Alright, this you have to remember, it is completely opposite in verb. For example, if I say play, alright, they play in the park. Alright, they play in the park. So play here is plural and he plays in the park. This is your singular. Okay, same way we have eat and eats. Alright, here also, for example, she eats fast food. Alright, or she eats junk food. Okay, so she eats junk food. Alright, so here when we are adding s, this is your singular, this is also your singular. If we say they eat junk food, this is your plural and this also is your plural. Alright, so this is one of the important principles that we have to learn. Alright, and many times when we are doing giving answers in the gap filling, and many times when we are solving the editing portion, this question comes. Alright, this principle is assessed, this principle is evaluated by the CBSE. Alright, so this you have to keep it in mind when we are talking about the nouns. Alright, when we are changing from singular into plural, we add s, es or ies. But when we are talking about the verbs. This is completely opposite. Alright. Play is plural, but plays is singular. Same way, eat is plural and eat is plural and eats is singular. Alright. Walk is plural, walks is singular. Alright. Same way, watch is plural, watches is singular. Alright. I hope this is clear to you. Now students, let's move on to the next rule. Alright. Now here the next rule is that when two or more singular subjects are joined by, alright, or connected by and, okay, in that case the verb will be plural. Alright. When two or more singular subjects are joined by and, we are going to use the plural verb. For example, in this, Mr. and Mrs. Gupta are going to the market. Here we are not going to say Mr. and Mrs. Gupta is going to the market. Two singular subjects. Alright? Because this sentence is talking about Mr. and Mrs. Gupta. So there are two subjects, two singular subjects. Mr. and Mrs. Gupta are going to the market. Okay? So this is the next principle that you should learn. Now let's move on to the other principle. Here they are talking about when two subjects, they are expressing one idea. Alright? Two subjects are there, but the idea that they are talking about, the concept that they are talking about is one. In that case, we are going to use a singular verb. Okay? When two subjects, alright, but they are talking about the same idea, in that case, we are going to use the singular verb. For example, here, earning your bread and butter is essential. Earning your bread and butter. Here, bread and butter is talking about one idea or one concept. Bread and butter means livelihood. Okay? It means, okay, the idea expressed by bread and butter is livelihood. Earning your livelihood is essential. Okay, so earning your bread and butter is essential. That is why we have used the helping verb is here. We are not going to say earning your bread and butter are essential. Alright, so this also we need to keep it in our mind, that if there are two subjects but they are expressing the same idea, alright, one idea, in that case we are going to use the singular verb. Now let's move on to the next rule. Now the next principle, it says that nouns which look like plural but actually in fact they are singular. Okay, then in that case what will happen? They are going to take the singular verb. For example, here if we say economics is my favorite subject. Okay, so when we see economics here, alright, here we can be fooled by this S, but actually it is not plural, it is singular, and that is why we are going to use a singular verb. We will not say economics are my favorite subject. The same case is with physics, or it is with mathematics, or it is with news or measles and all these things. Okay, they might look like plural, but actually they are singular nouns, and that is why what will happen? They are going to take the singular verb. I hope this is clear. Now next rule that we are having is everybody, somebody, nobody, anybody and anyone. Alright, you can mark it, alright, and write it here in your notebook that these 5 words: everybody, somebody, nobody, anybody and anyone. All the 4 body we have taken: everybody, somebody, nobody, anybody and anyone. All of them are going to take the singular verb. Okay, for example, nobody is perfect in the world. We are not going to say nobody are perfect in the world. Alright, the same way we will say somebody is standing outside. We are not going to say somebody are standing outside. So this also rule you have to remember, that these 5 words, everybody, somebody, nobody, anybody and anyone, they are going to take the singular verb. Alright. So I hope this is also clear. One is that the nouns that look like plural but actually they are singular, they are going to take singular verb. Next is these 5 words, everybody, somebody, nobody, anybody and anyone, they are going to take the singular verb. Now let's start with the next principle or the next rule. Alright, now here you have to be very careful in this rule. Now say, listen carefully. Okay, if subjects are joined by or, nor, either and neither. Alright, they are joined by or, nor, either or neither, then what is going to happen to the verb? In that case, verb is going to agree with the nearest subject. Alright, now what are we doing? We are joining the sentences with either or, nor or neither. Alright, or, nor, either, neither. Okay, these 4 things are there. We are joining the sentence with these 4 words. If anywhere these 4 words will come, then what will happen to the verb? It is going to agree. Alright, it is going to match the nearest subject. Alright, that we are going to see in the example. Alright, so now let's take the first example. Here, he or his friends are to be blamed. Okay, so here the subject, he or his friends. So we are joining the subjects with or. Okay, so what have we learned? That if the subjects are joined by or, then what is going to happen? The verb is going to agree with the nearest subject. And here the nearest subject is plural. Alright, friends. That is why we have written are here. Okay, if suppose it was he or his friend, instead of friends it would have been friend. Okay, then what would have happened? Then this would have changed into is. I hope this is clear. Okay, now let's come to the next one. Neither you nor he is to be blamed. Now neither you nor he is to be blamed. Okay, same way. When we are connecting 2 subjects with neither, nor or either or, okay, or simply or, then what is going to happen? The verb is going to agree with the nearest subject. Okay, here we had 2 subjects. One is you, alright, other one is he. Okay, we will not say neither you nor he are to blame. Okay, because if we are going to use you, we can say are, but now here what is the rule? The rule is that when we are joining 2 subjects with neither nor, then the verb is going to agree with the nearest subject. Which is the nearest subject? He. Alright, so we are going to say is. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now let's see the next example. Neither the farmer. So our subject here is farmer, nor his sons. Alright, so this is our singular subject 1 and this is our plural subject 2. But they are joined by neither and nor. Neither the farmer nor his sons dash the fields. Here you have to use plow. Alright, so tell me what is going to come here in the blank. Alright, we know that the verb should agree with the nearest subject. So the subject is plural here, his sons. Alright, so the verb should also be, yes, plural. Okay, and we have done that plow is singular or plural. Plow is plural. So we are going to write neither the farmer nor his sons plow the fields. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now let's come to the fourth example. Either he, alright, either he, subject number 1, or I, subject 2, dash to do it. Alright, now what is going to come here? Are we going to use is or are we going to use am? Okay, now tell me, verb is there. Okay, when it is joined by or, alright, then what is going to happen? The verb is going to agree with the nearest subject. So either he or I am to do it. I hope this is clear to you. Students, today I am going to stop here. Alright, I want you to watch this video very carefully. Alright, write the principles that we have already done in your register, and next thing that you have to do is I will be sending you some worksheet. Alright, you do the questions that are related to these principles. Alright, and as we move forward you can complete your worksheet. Alright, so till we meet in the next class, I hope you will stay safe at home. Thank you, students.